The next Lee and Ian podcast is approaching the station. Please step aside.
And welcome to the Lee and Ian Show. I'm Lee Navlin.
And I'm Ian Grodman.
The Lee and Ian Show is sponsored by Grodman Law and Mediation. Remember, when it comes to divorce, family first. Mediation, it's the way to go. Grodman Law and Mediation. And Ian, I have a big announcement.
I want to hear this announcement, Lee. I'm very excited
Now,
about
I know
it.
you like my book, Secretary of the
loved
City.
your book.
Well, as promised, the sequel, Secretary Says, has landed.
Woo-hoo!
The pre-sale starts this week. Liz White is back, and office politics have never been so funny. So pre-order now and try to keep a straight face.
Everybody read this book because that first one, you could read it in one sitting. It's a great book, really entertaining. I think it would be a great screenplay.
Well, you know, Ian, maybe that's next.
Okay.
Maybe that's the next. But
There's
first,
a part for me, right?
Yeah, we're going to, you know what? I think I could get you a part on
All
this.
right, good,
Yes. So, but anyway, look for both Secretary of the City and Secretary Says wherever books are sold.
You got it.
Ian, as the great Ed Norton on The Honeymooners might say, you sure outdid yourself this time. I mean, I've seen some wild stuff in my day, but this, you're on a whole different level, buddy. Ian, would you please introduce our guest?
I would be very pleased to introduce our next. It is my pleasure to welcome Tom Malinowski to the Lee and Ian Show. For those who don't know, and I don't know anybody who wouldn't know, he is a former congressman in the 7th Congressional District in New Jersey. He is a human rights champion working as an assistant secretary dealing with issues of human rights in the Obama White House. He has worked for Human Rights Watch. He has done this work not only in the United States, all over the world. We are very pleased to welcome Tom Malinowski, who is also currently the Hunterdon County Democratic Chair.
The Honorable Tom Malinowski.
That's correct. I'm sorry about that.
So, Tom, thank you for coming.
Well, it depends who, not everyone thinks I'm
That's
on
true. That's true. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 in my old congressional district. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's considering it's a
Not
kind
bad.
of Republican
Well,
district. That's pretty good.
Well, no one considers me honorable, so you know you're doing better than I am. But again, thank you so much for coming down to the to our studios and spending some time with us. Tom, you've been in the news lately. A lot of people are talking about things you've been saying, things you might be doing. But before we get to all that, maybe we should talk about Ian. Maybe we should talk about Mikie Sherrill.
Let's talk a little bit about Mikie Sherrill because
Okay.
Tom has some great things to say about Mikie.
So, well, Mikey and I got elected together in 2018, and it really felt like it was together because we were both people who had not thought about running for office for most of our lives. We'd been in public service. She was in the military. I was in the State Department. And then something funny happened in America in 2016.
Yes.
Not so funny.
Yeah. Funny, not funny.
And we both decided, not knowing each other, like a lot of other members of that 2018 class,
Yep.
that the thing we could do in that moment was to run for the House of Representatives and to flip it so that there would be accountability, so there would be a check on this guy in the White House. And we were both successful. We served together. We became friends. We endured January 6th together.
Wow.
And then we had 2 years together of actual productive work for New Jersey, for the country, when Biden was president and we were passing bill after bill after bill to keep our promises.
Yep. Good legislation.
Tom, now you were in the Obama administration.
I was, yep.
Barack Obama, you knew them? You met him? You hung out with him? Just real quick, how cool is that guy?
So cool. Oh my God. No, I didn't hang out with him very much. I was an
They had
assistant.
work to do.
We had to save the world.
Yeah.
That's
Come on,
true. That's
you know.
true. Yeah, and you
takes
did.
time.
You did for a period of time.
Well, the world never gets saved. That's the lesson. But
Yep.
we did good work. And
Tom, you should talk a little bit about some of the work that you did. So Tom was the Assistant Secretary for Human Rights.
So for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor, or
Okay.
Assistant Secretary for Goodness, for short, all the good stuff that
Ah,
America
very good. I like
has
that.
stood for and maybe will stand for again around the world,
Yeah.
helping people attain freedom and justice and fight oppression, whether it's women in Afghanistan who simply wanted to go to school
Yep.
or people who wanted the right to vote in dictatorships like China,
Yep.
Egypt, or people of Ukraine who even then were trying to fight off a kind of limited Russian invasion. Remember Crimea? All of that
well, you
happened
had
at that time.
a big role in that at that time, didn't you?
Well, I mean, sanctioning Russian oligarchs was kind of a personal hobby of mine at that time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have to keep doing that.
Absolutely. It's not getting any better. It's definitely getting worse.
No, and our president is, every day sort of we wait to see which side of bed he wakes up on,
Right.
whether it's the Putin side or the Ukraine side.
Right.
And that's...
See which dictator he's going to embrace next.
Yeah. Right now, as we speak, he's probably this side, that side. It seems every day he wakes up with a different opinion. But
a few days ago, he woke up on the wrong side of the Canada bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we all learned that if the
Unbelievable.
president's feelings are hurt, it's a national emergency, and we all have to pay
That's
10% more
Yeah.
for the stuff we buy in the store.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Right. He has a temper tantrum. That's it. It just 10%. I mean,
That's exactly what
right.
happened.
It's like the teacher, the angry teacher at school. Like you're just throwing an eraser at you. That's what it seems like. We've got there.
That's right. Except he's got a big eraser.
He's got a very
he
big
can
eraser.
he
Yes.
can erase
Yes.
your income.
Exactly. Yeah.
So somehow we have to get through that.
Yep.
We have to get through that in terms of our economy, our national security, but also our mental health.
Absolutely. There's a real malaise in the country right now. Yeah.
Now, Tom, Mikie Sherrill, if she wins, and we're hoping she wins, and I
all
think
hope
she's
she
going to
wins.
win. The polls seem to indicate she's
But
going to win.
everybody, please still come out to vote. Early voting is going on
Voting
now
is-
through Sunday. Get your mail-in ballots in, and don't forget to vote on November 4th, Election Day.
And that comes from the chair of the Maplewood Democratic Committee.
That's
so that's
correct.
that's not asking, that's telling.
That's right.
That's telling. So her seat may be opening up in Congress. People are talking about you perhaps running for that seat. What are your thoughts there? I know. Is it premature to talk about it, or can we?
I don't want to get ahead of the most important thing, which is making sure that Mikie wins. So let's talk about that first.
Okay.
Why it's
Good.
important. I mean, I told you I can go on and on about why I think she's a good person and a responsible person who, above all, believes that the oath to the Constitution of the United States is something sacred.
Yep.
And that's what we need in our public servants right now. I think it's incredibly important, both because we cannot send a message to the country that New Jersey is turning itself over to Donald Trump.
That's correct.
And because I think there is a huge positive opportunity in having, with Mikie as governor, with my friend Abigail Spanberger, who's running and will win
Virginia.
the governorship of Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and other really talented blue state governors, to have a compact, to work together, to protect our public health against Robert Kennedy Jr.,
Yep.
to pass the legislation that Congress cannot pass because Congress basically doesn't exist right now, to protect us, to protect the environment, to protect workers, to go after big tech and what it's doing to our kids and our democracy. This is something I've worked very closely with Mikie on. I worked with her on an agenda that she has put out for online safety in New Jersey. And if New Jersey does that with Massachusetts, with New York, with California, with Illinois, with Michigan, with Wisconsin, we can be a really, really powerful force. So I want people to be inspired to vote for Mikie because we can do good together and because it's going to protect us against the madness. So that's number one. If we're successful, then, a lot of people have asked me about the 11th district because that will be a vacancy that we need to fill, hopefully with somebody who's experienced, somebody who can pick up where she left off in fighting this fight in Washington, D.C. And if we get to that point, then I would be interested in it. But I want us to get to that point before I say more because it would be premature.
We get her elected, and then we begin the process of finding the best person for
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
And, I mean, Tom, I've been just looking at some of the things you've done in your life. I mean, it's first off, you were born in Poland.
Yeah.
You're behind the Iron Curtain.
Yes.
You come here as a little boy.
Back in the day.
You come here as a little boy. You land in Princeton, New Jersey.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah. Rhodes Scholar, brilliant guy. You end up working in Washington. You end up in Congress. Just talk a little bit about your life so people understand.
People know
how
a little
this
bit about your
happened, because it
background.
really reads like the American dream.
I fell in love with America the moment we got here. I was 6 years old. We lived in New York the first year, and skyscrapers and
A little boy coming and seeing
like
all
it
that.
was like going to the circus every single day. And the way I became American above all was through baseball.
Okay.
So that was my childhood, actually.
Yep.
And
Yankees?
Yankees, yeah. Mets in '73.
Yep, okay.
And then I saw the Lou Gehrig story with Gary Cooper
Yes.
on WPIX
That's right.
in whatever that was, second grade. And I'm like, this has got to be my team.
Yep.
And so playing Little League, like those were the highlights of my childhood. And then just becoming a total baseball history nerd, because I'm a nerd.
Uh-huh.
And I think, I mean, I was a kid, I was having fun, but looking back on it now as an adult, I think what was going on was that this was the all-American sport, and I was an immigrant trying to
Become an
embrace that,
American.
like a lot of immigrants do. And coming from a communist country, you also kind of have an awareness of that politics can really screw with people's lives
Yep.
from an early age. I even have some memories, like being 5 or 6,
Yes.
that I now see as political memories.
Right. Yeah, like scary. You don't understand what you're seeing, but you look back and you say, "Boy, that was."
Yeah, like
frightening stuff.
one story I would tell, like on the campaign trail. Like I've got this very vivid memory. I must have been 5 years old, of my mom pushing a wad of cash across a table
Wow.
into the hands of some guy sitting on the other side, and I remember feeling creeped out.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening,
Yeah.
but it felt like this guy somehow had a lot of power over us,
Mm-hmm.
and there was something wrong with the situation. What she was doing was bribing a local official to get us a passport
Wow.
so that we could get out of the country and come to America,
Yeah.
because that's what you had to do for anything.
Mhm.
Right. Yep.
But I remembered that.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't what you knew; it's who you knew and how much you wanted to pay them for perhaps a chance, an opportunity to get
100%.
out.
Yeah. And so you don't want, like, not that I ever imagined growing up America could ever go there, but you know the difference. You can see the difference in the way that somebody maybe born here might take for granted. And I think that got me interested in politics at an early age.
Now, I
You know,
guess you were.
I just
oh,
want to point
sorry.
out one thing, in terms of Tom's talking about, coming to the United States, becoming an American. So the recent No Kings rally, Tom was one of the speakers at that No Kings rally, and somebody who had immigrated to the United States. Part of what he spoke about was he asked the entire 2,000 people who were at that rally to say the oath that new immigrants, when they're becoming citizens, say. And I just thought it was really moving and compelling, and it was a great touch to add to the No Kings Day. That was organized by Soma Action. They did a fantastic job. It was a great day. So thank you, Tom, for doing that. I really love that.
Well, thank you, Ian. And the idea is that it's the oath of the Constitution.
Yep.
And I took it at age 10, just becoming an American citizen with my mom. And the words I realized as a grown-up, words are almost the same as the oath that the president takes when he's sworn in.
Yep.
And the oath that I took being sworn in as a congressman, the oath that any local official in New Jersey would take. You're pledging to support and defend the Constitution. And like that's what this moment is all about. And every single one of us, I think, has the same duty and responsibility.
Yep.
And so that was the point of everybody reading the oath together.
It was great. It was really beautiful.
So when Lech Wałęsa in Poland, now you're here. Obviously, we're all watching it and can't believe what we're seeing. And the Soviet Union collapses. Was your mom still around to see all this? Were you with her? What was that like?
Well, she's still around.
Okay,
thankfully.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, it was joyful for us having come to America to see Poland liberated, to see communism fall in all of those countries. And I was going back a lot as a kid, so a lot of my memories of Poland are from age 8, 10, 14, 15, going back. I even got to meet Lech Wałęsa at the shipyard where they were, Solidarity was on strike at age 15, and came home to my high school and started selling the little Solidarity buttons.
Oh, that's great.
Because it was a good cause, and the girl I had a crush on was also selling Solidarity buttons. So I thought maybe this is the way to... This was the way.
Yes, to impress her.
Yeah. Right, I guess I can only imagine. I visited Poland a couple times myself.
Wow,
Ian.
I didn't know that.
I've been to Warsaw and
Wow.
Krakow,
Never
and
been. Never been.
it's
such a beautiful country.
It is absolutely a beautiful country. Yeah.
So I have two great grandparents who came from Vilnius, which was Vilna at the time that they came here. And my grandfather, we thought, our whole lives used to talk about his parents being from Lithuania. And then finally, when he got older, he's like, well, when my parents came from Poland, and we're like, what? We're Polish? We didn't know that. And, I guess the borders in that part of the world were always moving around between Poland, Lithuania, Russia.
Poland and Lithuania were one, we called it a commonwealth. So for hundreds of years, they were together. And the opening line of the Polish national poem is Lithuania, my fatherland.
Wow.
That's how
I'm going to have to look at this now.
Confused and complicated, but also united it was. So,
right.
So there's a lot of, like the Eastern European countries, Poland, and now Lithuania, independent country, there's a lot of solidarity, a lot of support for Ukraine.
Right.
Because they know
they could be next.
They could be next. And those Ukrainians, they're not just fighting for themselves, fighting for all of us. I think they're fighting for America too.
I agree,
and
100%.
Why we got to continue to support them.
Yep.
Now, Tom, when you were in Congress, the 7th District, you have from 2019 to 2023, I believe. You ran against Tom Kean Jr., and you beat him.
Well, that was the second time.
Second time, yeah.
You beat him, okay. So
first time it was the incumbent, Leonard Lance, who'd been there for 10 years, knocked him out. Yeah.
And that was quite a feat because Leonard Lance was a long, entrenched Republican, and Tom ran against him as a new person and got him out.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
Well,
then Kean ran against me in 2020, and I beat him.
You beat him, and then he came back around.
He came back, and they changed the district a little bit, right, to make it harder for a Democrat. And still a very close race, but he beat me the second time.
So I grew up in Livingston, New Jersey. Tom Kean from Livingston. I actually knew Tom Kean Jr. growing up. We were little kids. I only knew him because, I did not like him. I just want you to know that. So I was very happy when you beat him.
You knew Tom Kean. You knew.
I knew Tom Kean Jr. Yes.
Chris Christie as a kid.
I did.
Like all these people you grew up with.
Livingston is a.
He's changed sides. He's a Democrat now.
Yeah. Well,
so is Chris Christie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But I tell you, Bridgegate read like a who's who of everybody I grew up with. There was a lot of Livingston people that were involved there.
David Wildstein.
That's right, Wildstein. That's right. Yes. Yeah. It was. He was mayor of Livingston actually when he was like 23 or 24 years old. Yeah. He was. And then I never heard from him again until the Bridgegate thing, and now I know he's doing some different stuff right now, but he's still he's still hanging around.
He's still out there.
But
making noise.
To me, Tom Kean represents the Republican that I think is just taking that party and it's burying it as far as I'm concerned.
Junior, yes.
Junior, yeah. Tom
Senior, I still greatly admire. But
good, he was a good man. Yeah, he was a good man. Yeah, he was a good governor. At the time.
He was the governor when I moved to New Jersey. I moved to New Jersey when I started law school, and Tom Kean was the governor at the time. And I remember, coming from New York, thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to this state with a Republican governor."
Yeah,
and I was really impressed with Tom Kean. I thought he was great. I really.
Yeah. He was.
Junior is.
Yes.
It's kind of a sad case. I think. I would debate him. He would never come out in public.
No.
And still doesn't. But he did debate me.
Right.
In both races, and there were moments in those debates when I almost wanted just to reach out and help him. No, I can make here's what you're trying to say.
Right.
So let me state your point, and then I'll rebut it. But he has a hard time expressing his thoughts.
Yep.
In a way that is weird for a politician.
Yeah.
And politically, he's shown a lot of cowardice. He's not.
He never comes out and speaks, never has a town hall. Yep.
And he basically, I think, has betrayed his father's legacy of Republican moderation and aligned himself 100% with Trump.
Yep.
So that he can have this job, but he doesn't know why he wants to have this job.
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of nepotism, and I guess he feels, my dad was in, and I should be in it. Maybe that's the only thing that he's ever done. I don't know, but
it is the only thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
So it's it would be just, as I said, a little sad case, except for the fact that it matters to people here that we have representation that stands up for our values and for our interests. And that's everything from delivering from New Jersey the infrastructure we need, the healthcare that we need, and standing up for, again, little things like the Constitution and checks and balances in Washington, D.C.
I mean, Tom, just your track record. I mean, you've argued for the recognition of women's rights as a precondition to any peace talks with the Taliban. I mean, that was a big part of what you were doing back in Washington. You pushed for no-fly zone in Syria during the ongoing civil war.
That was in my State Department days under Obama.
Yeah. Your torture techniques, you've advocated for the end of them by the U.S. government during the war on terror. I mean, the things that you've been involved in, and you're outspoken about it all. I mean, it's a track record of saying what you think and taking positions that may be controversial, but you take them because you believe in them in your heart. And maybe Tom Kaine Jr. is a little bit different, but that's what I like, Ian, about the fact that you may be getting back into the New Jersey politics. We need guys that are going to say what they mean, as opposed
Tom's whole life has been a career dealing with human rights. Like, if you look at his career, you look at his resume, his entire career has been about human rights. And maybe talk to us a little bit about, some of your experience as a human rights advocate and the work that you've done, because I think a lot of people know you from Congress, right? But they don't know what you did before you were in Congress. And maybe tell people a little bit about some of that work that you've done over the course of, it's probably close to 30 years, right?
You're making me seem a little old. But
no. He looks very young. He's boyish looking here in the studio.
I was just like, can I just get in there that I was the starting shortstop on the House Democrat baseball team?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
It's the main reason to be in Congress, other than saving the world. So,
So Yankee fan Jeter got to be your favorite player of all time then?
So growing up, it was Greg Nettles.
Third base?
Yeah.
I was a Reggie guy myself.
And I played third as a kid, and now
switched over to shortstop when you got to Congress.
The throw is getting shorter and shorter.
Now second base.
Second base, I think, is looming in my future. So you mentioned the torture thing.
Yes.
And so one of the partnerships in my life that meant the most to me was with Senator John McCain. Mm-hmm. So it's 2005, and Bush administration, 9/11 has happened, war on terror. We're all feeling insecure. And we captured all these people who we thought were guilty of terrorism. Most of them were, some of them maybe not. And under the Bush and Cheney rule, a lot of those guys were hustled off to secret prisons around the world and subjected to things that, if they were done to us, to our men and women in uniform, we would say were absolutely unacceptable, gruesome, illegal torture techniques. And I thought it was wrong. I thought it was also stupid, because torture is a terrible way to get information from people. And so guess who agreed with me in the United States Senate? It was a Republican, John McCain, who had experienced that himself as a POW in Vietnam and was a man of total honor and integrity. So we worked together on a bill that we got through. He mostly got through a Republican Senate and a Republican House in 2005. It passed 91-9 in a Republican Senate to rein in a Republican president and to put an end to that crap. And
I didn't know this.
I look back on it, it's a highlight of my career, something I'm proud that I contributed to, but also it reminds us of a time when Congress actually stood up and mattered, when members could stand up to a president of their own party on a matter of principle, which is no longer possible in the Republican Party.
No, it's not. I actually, when you're talking about Tom McCain, I always think of that we've all seen the video where the woman was saying horrible things about Obama.
Being an Arab, she used the word
John
Arab.
McCain got up and really defended him and talked about what an honorable human being
during the case. He was running for president against him.
That's right.
And he said, no, you can't, she's calling him terrorists, and he had to,
And you're a trustee of the McCain Foundation, aren't you?
I was a fellow there after I left Congress. So they brought me on to help advise them on some stuff. And it's an association that means a lot to me. And then we worked together I was still a human rights activist. We worked together on responding to all the Arab Spring uprisings in Libya and in Syria. And because he was a champion for human rights for people everywhere, he thought that's what America stands for, and it's where we get our strength.
Yep.
I miss him a lot. I wish we still had his voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, his vice presidential pick was,
It was a
maybe
bit of a
maybe his downfall. But
yeah. He'd probably imagine he would
get a do-over.
share your your view there in hindsight.
As good a man as he was, I liked his opponent a lot more. But
yes.
But, I mean, I worked for his opponent and loved him too. Like,
yeah,
and I wish we were back in an America where we could still
that's right.
say that
Yep,
after a presidential election.
that's it. We can't anymore.
Yeah, Tom, now, when Andy Kim was running, you were a huge supporter of Andy's, and I think he's a one. Ian, I agree. He's done a great job.
Andy Kim has been amazing. You know, I did not know a lot about Andy Kim when he first ran. I, at the time, believed that he was probably the better person who was interested in that position.
Yeah.
But he's doing a great job in the Senate. He's doing a great job for the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Now, were you a little surprised by the pushback that you got from his opponent? You know, I know that was kind of, you know, made for some headlines.
Yeah, a little surprised by how vociferous it was, partly because I don't think it helped his opponent to do that. But I came out for Andy because I was for Andy, not because I was against somebody else. I actually got to know Andy. We were in the Obama administration together. He was in the White House working on the National Security Council on Iraq. And we got together when, you remember when ISIS suddenly emerged. And one of the first things that they tried to do, the ISIS terrorists in Iraq, was to literally exterminate an ethnic minority called the Yazidi people, who lived in basically around a mountain called Mount Sinjar in northern Iraq. And there was this moment in the war where all the Yazidis had fled from their villages and towns, and they were on top of this mountain, surrounded by the ISIS terrorists. And that was the moment when the United States got into the war against ISIS. And Andy and I worked together on making that happen, not just getting into the war, but getting into it in a way that saved those people on that mountain, gave them a way to escape their pursuers. And so the weird thing is then we ended up serving in Congress together from New Jersey. Like, weird in the sense, like, if anyone had told us...
Same year in 2018, right?
Well, same year, 2018, but like this was happening in 2015.
Right.
Had anyone told me and Andy, as we're sitting there like in the Situation Room dealing with protecting some little known minority group in Iraq, that like within a few years we'd be serving in Congress together, fighting for the Gateway Tunnel and the SALT deduction. I would have been somewhat surprised, and I think he would have been too. But then things happened. And we both made the same choice, and I'm glad we did.
That's great. I love that.
Top question for you: now District 7 and District 11. Now you're teaching at Seton Hall University. I
am.
believe.
Yes, I'm teaching.
So you're moving into the area. You know, I guess you'll be living here in District 11.
Well, I'm working in South Orange.
Okay.
And you know, the districts overlap. Like, I actually represented a couple of towns that are now in Mikie Sherrill's
Milburn
district.
and Dover.
Milburn and
You know,
Dover.
kind of. Yeah.
So
you bring a lot of name recognition. People know who you are. But you know, it's now District 11, Ian, is Morris County, it's Passaic County,
Morris, Essex, and Passaic.
Right. So New Jersey being a purple state, some people like to say. What would you say to the guy who's thinking maybe I'm voting for Jack? I know obviously, you know, Mikie is who you're supporting, but do you have specific issues with him that you can address?
Look, in normal times, I would look on Jack as a normal Republican, a guy who basically decent, but who I disagree with on some issues. And I'd still vote against him, but I wouldn't think it was the end of the world if a guy like that became governor of New Jersey. We've had Republican governors. You know, we're fine. In this moment, when he is unable, unlike some other moderate Republicans, to name a single thing that he would stand up for us for against the President of the United States.
Yep.
When New Jersey's interests are on the line,
That's it.
I cannot abide. I cannot imagine anyone who cares about the interest of the state voting for somebody who has told us that he will capitulate, that he will be
Right.
that weak,
Right.
that the most he will do is ask for a favor sometimes. Like, take the Gateway Tunnel, the most important infrastructure project in the country,
In
not
the
just
country,
in New
it's
Jersey.
not just for New Jersey.
Thousands of jobs.
Yep.
We have 200,000 New Jerseyans going through that tunnel, that decrepit, decaying tunnel on trains every single
Yep.
day. If nothing is done to fix and replace it, those 200,000 people will get in their cars eventually and make the George Washington Bridge
Yep.
completely shut down.
Yep.
Look like Bridgegate.
And the whole, be worse than that, times 10.
Yeah.
And the whole economy of this region will
That's it.
go up in smoke. And me and Mikie and the rest of our delegation, we passed
Fought hard for
the
it.
infrastructure bill. It is in law.
Yep.
The money has been approved.
Yep.
There is a legally binding contract
That's right.
with the state of New Jersey and the state of New York to build it.
Yep.
And when the President of the United States says, I might not honor that contract, there is only one appropriate response,
That's right.
and that is to say, go to hell,
Yep.
and we are going to sue you, and we
That's
are going
it.
to win.
Yep.
And any Republican in years past would have agreed with me, even if it were a Republican
That's
president.
right.
This guy, he's like,
not saying anything.
it'll be fine.
I'm not hearing much about that. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a president likes me, so maybe we won't have as many problems.
That's it.
No.
Yeah, and I've noticed his commercials, a lot of chopping and editing in his commercials, where they maybe just trying to make it seem like she's the one that doesn't answer questions, which I think it's pretty, if you've ever done any type of editing, Ian, it's clear that, she's asked a question 5 minutes later, it's edited in to make it look like she went, so I
The
really
bottom
think-
line
I-
is
yeah,
Chitterelli is not going to say anything negative about Trump. He is almost
and it's just a negative campaign against her,
well, and if she does talk about Trump, he refuses to say that Trump has done anything wrong, Trump has done anything bad, that he is harmful for the country, that he's harmful for the state of New Jersey. He refuses to acknowledge any of that, and I think that's the biggest problem with Chitterelli.
What happens if Trump says, I want 3 more or 5 more congressional seats
Right?
in New Jersey? He'll say, sir, yes, sir. What happens if he
Exactly.
says, I want the state police to ride along with ICE
Yep,
and start asking people with brown skin, were you born here?
that's right.
And picking up people who are U.S. citizens, who are veterans of the U.S. Armed
That's
Forces,
right.
based on somebody's prejudice.
Yep.
And obviously that's what he will do, because he's made clear that he will follow
Anything
orders.
that the president tells him.
And we know what those orders are going to be.
That's right.
So that is not acceptable to
Not
me. And at
acceptable
this
at all.
point, we have to elect. I mean, I love Mikie, but I would vote for anybody who simply stands up and says, I will protect New Jersey against unlawful actions by the federal
Yep.
government.
So you're in politics a long time. Now you're out of politics, kind of. You're not holding an office right now. Perhaps you get back and what's the hardest thing about being an elected official? Just talk a little bit about what, I'm sure over the last couple, your family's probably been like, you seem happier. You got more time to play tennis. You're less
Baseball.
stressed. But what is, because I would just think the scrutiny would kill me. I mean, I get mad if somebody, says they didn't like what I said
You
on this
don't like
podcast.
scrutiny. You definitely
Yeah,
don't.
right, but I couldn't.
What do you mean? Why? What would happen? What would we find out?
Yeah, right, yeah.
What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
One time I said something to Ian. We were doing the podcast or whatever. I can't believe he said that, and we were just joking around. But I was very. They said I didn't ask the right question, whatever. And I was like all night long. I'm in a bad mood. My wife's like, stop. I go, it's one person. But seriously, as a politician, the scrutiny. You talk a little bit about that. And getting back into the game.
I don't want to say it like it's a complaint, because you know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing surprising about it. Like, that if you run for office, your life is an open book.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be people who are professionally responsible for taking you down, for figuring out
Yep.
whatever your weaknesses may be, and we all have them, and relentlessly pursuing you. especially if you're in a district that is as competitive as the one that I won twice in and lost once
Right.
in. And so, yeah, I mean, that's not easy. You also live a life in two places. So you're seeing your family half the time, whether they're living in Jersey, whether they're living in DC, you're seeing them half the time.
Right.
And you're on the road all the time.
Yep.
So, but you know what? Like tons of people have jobs with long hours. Tons of people have jobs that are stressful. I had a job that, well, my first boss in Washington was the great
Was it
Senator
Moynihan?
Daniel Patrick Moynihan.
Yeah.
Oh, a champion of the people.
And he used to say in his hard to imitate weird voice,
He had that weird accent.
up, say to me, lad, I have a job that's defined in the goddamn Constitution of the United States.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's where the job description is.
That's right.
And that's pretty awesome. And like even ceremonial things, like when you're a junior house member, one of your jobs is to preside over the house because it's seen as a boring duty. Stand up there with the gavel and somebody's whispering in your ear all the things you're supposed to say. Like, for what purpose does the gentle lady from Kansas seek recognition? The gentle lady is recognized for 1 minute. But although it was boring in a way, like I would stand up there and think, this is the spot the president gives the State of the Union from.
That's right.
This is where FDR said, this is a day that will live in infamy. This is where Lyndon Johnson said, we shall overcome.
Yep.
And I was born a poor Polish child, right? I was an immigrant, and I'm standing here with this gavel in my hand. And, you know, wow, that's just
It's
amazing.
truly like the definition of the word awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And that's not even the part where you get to like help people.
Right.
And that was incredibly rewarding too, whether we were working on some big, massive bill that could change the country, or it was somebody coming to my office saying, I'm a veteran and I've been struggling for 20 years to get a health condition recognized so that I can get help for my family.
Right.
And you're the guy who actually does that for that
Yeah.
veteran after 20 years.
Yeah.
So like all of those things so much outweighed the bullshit that you have to deal with and the hours that you have to spend. I still thought of it as magical.
It is. It's pretty amazing. Lee, I don't know if you know this, but my first foray into politics was when I was 15 years old, working on the campaign of Daniel Patrick Moynihan and Jimmy Carter in 1976.
That was it?
Oh,
You
yeah.
were hooked?
Yeah, and I was hooked.
That's his first campaign.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was pretty exciting.
So Moynihan's strange voice. He was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know if
was?
he was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
I didn't
and
know
at the
that.
age of 6, he moved to New York City Hell's Kitchen.
Wow.
So I think that explains. Yeah.
So I can't. I'm even more confused now about that accent. So
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it was a very, I mean, it was kind of erudite,
Yes,
like, you
but
know,
from
he's a-
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
yeah,
and
but
Hell's
like he
Kitchen.
sounded like a professor of
Yes.
philosophy from Cambridge University.
Yeah.
And the people in New York and I think the working class people especially absolutely loved him.
Yep.
I'll tell you, you know, like members of Congress send newsletters to their constituents. And usually it's, you got 4 pages folded up and it's a lot of glossy pictures of the great congressman, like whatever, cutting a ribbon or saying hello to kids.
Yeah.
And then like little press releasey things like, you know, Congressman Jones delivered for the people
$4 million
$4
for
million.
this project. Yeah.
Or we got to lock up all the immigrants or whatever, like the slogan he's running
Right.
on is. Moynihan, every time he had a newsletter, would pick one subject. And it was usually something, it could have been like the fall of the Soviet Union or how to fix Social Security. He would write a 4-page essay, sent it to everybody in the state of New York, and people loved it because he was taking them seriously. He was respecting their intelligence.
Yep.
And that's something I learned from. And I couldn't quite convince my staff to let me just do a 4-page essay, but I wrote them all myself, at least tried to follow halfway in his footsteps.
That's great. That's great. You know, I want to, you know, we're talking a lot about politics, right? But again, I know you've been a human rights activist for your most of your adult life, right? I want to ask, so of everything that you've done in your life, what do you feel is your greatest accomplishment, or the accomplishment that you're most proud of? I think people would like to hear that.
Besides coming on this podcast, besides
besides coming on the Lee and Ian
I
show.
don't even remember anything now. Like after this just
the last half an hour is just eliminated everything.
You can die now. Right?
What else will I do?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Nothing will live up to this.
Yeah. Well, you know, I wish you'd asked me this before I told you the McCain story, because I think that is how I usually answer that question.
Yeah.
Like passing that bill and ending something that I thought was just terribly wrong.
Yeah.
And doing it in such a bipartisan and unifying way. And I felt like there's no achievement in Washington that's one person.
Right.
It's always a group effort. But I felt that that was something that I made a substantial enough contribution to that I felt like, maybe that wouldn't have happened in quite the same way without me. And so, yeah, that I would still probably put at the top. But there was a lot we did in Congress, including some stuff that I felt like I made major. Gateway is one of them.
Huge. People have no idea the tremendous importance of that.
And then things that we did collectively, like the poorly named Inflation Reduction Act, which was actually the most giant leap in human history towards clean energy and protecting all of us, our flooded basements, our livelihoods from the threat of climate change. And whatever I do with my life, I want to make sure that we try to protect that going forward.
So moving forward, Mikie Sherrill wins. You throw your hat into the race for Congress. It's going to be an abbreviated campaign season. You know, it's going to be high octane. Very few of your opponents. I've heard some whisperings about a few people.
There are no opponents yet, right?
Yeah, but people that are being rumored.
I'm also not in the
right.
I'm not.
Right.
Nobody serious, I think, is running right now because we want to make sure Mikie gets over.
Yes.
But if you have your national profile, your political connections, I mean, you
shortstop skills.
Shortstop skills. That's right.
Very important.
Your choice of podcasts.
Congressional Democrats could be very benefited by that.
But yeah, what would that be like? I mean, that's a situation where you have an advantage in that you don't have to reintroduce yourself. Hey, you don't know who I am. Here's who I am. You can say, you know who I am. Here's what I'm going to do.
Take me out of it for a sec. Let's talk about why the race is important. We're going to be losing a great member of Congress. There's going to be a vacancy. It's going to be a special election. And special elections are super important because when they happen, they are the only election happening in America.
Yep.
And so the whole country is going to be looking at this special election to fill Mikie's seat. And the outcome of it is so important for momentum for the November midterms.
Yep.
Whoever wins and the margin that they win by is going to feel huge enthusiasm going into the midterm election. So we need to take this extremely seriously. The Republicans are going to run harder in the special election, I think, than they've ever run against Mikie in this district because they know what I just said to be true. And so we got to make sure that we give it our A game here, and I would argue nominate somebody as Democrats who is able to meet that challenge and come out of, so that we collectively, we together come out of this feeling like we totally rocked in that special election, and that means we're going to win in November in New Jersey and across the country. Just like Mikie's win and Abby's win in Virginia is going to give us some momentum.
We only have a few more minutes now. Ian, you're the political savant. You know, I'm the idiot savant.
Okay, there we go.
But I've read that
we're speaking French here. You didn't tell me this.
We're all about the Latin.
I got a D in French in French.
I think I did too.
But my understanding is Virginia, New Jersey. This election very much as an indicator for the midterms. You know, I've read that. You know,
absolutely.
And so
right. I mean, you know, New Jersey and Virginia both are states that are definitely lean blue. But what happens in New Jersey and Virginia for this gubernatorial election is foreboding for what's going to happen in the 2026 midterm elections. As Tom said, there will be special elections to fill congressional seats that might be vacated as a result of the results of this November election. And that, too, is going to be very, very important for momentum going into 2026 midterms.
The special election in the 11th district for Mikie's seat will likely be the only special House election in 2026.
So will somebody be appointed in Virginia or?
No, because Abby Spanberger is no longer in the House.
Oh, I see.
So she did not run for the election.
I didn't realize that.
So it's just Mikie's seat.
that's why you said the whole country's going to be looking at this.
It's going to be this one, unless there's some tragic vacancy in the House. You never know.
Right.
In the next few weeks, but barring that, this is the only special House election of 2026.
Very important.
So make sure to pay attention and vote. And
pay attention, people.
All right, yeah. So I guess, Ian, anything else we want to discuss? I know, Tom, you've got a busy evening ahead.
Yes,
so
we appreciate you taking the time and coming here before your other engagements for the evening.
This was fun. Thank you, guys.
Good. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Seton Hall before we end.
I'm teaching a class. The subject is morality, ethics, and American foreign policy.
Very interesting.
So that's
right up your alley.
That's kind of what I did before coming to Congress. Like what do we do as a country when there is some a genocide in Bosnia or Sudan, or do we have a moral responsibility to use our power to help people? Or do we get into trouble every time we try to do that?
Right.
Should we have a more narrow foreign policy just based on our immediate self-interest? That's a debate that is never ending and really interesting for me and for the kids.
That's great.
That's what I'm teaching.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you for
so
sharing.
I wish I was still in college. I would take that class.
You could come and audit it. We got some empty chairs. Yeah.
I'm
going to see you there
next semester.
Monday.
That's right. Next
semester, you and I are going to take a class with Tom at Seton Hall.
All right. Tom may be very busy next semester. So I have a feeling you're going to be extremely busy next semester. So, okay. So, Ian, I guess we're going to call it a night.
That's it.
The Honorable Tom Malinowski.
Thank you very much, Tom. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, honorables.
Yeah, thank you. There we go.
Let's do it again.
That's right. All
I've
right.
been an honorable for here and there over the years.
Hey, you take what you can get.
I'll take what I can get.
Right. I think I have the authority to confer that title.
Well, thank you. Thank you. On Lee, too? Lee is a tough one.
Yeah, I have the authority.
Okay.
No one's going to choose to do it.
All right.
No one's going to believe it. There's a politician again.
Lee is going to worship you for life now.
Oh, you kidding me? I'm going to be wearing. Guess who called me honorable?
Tom Malinowski called me honorable. Yeah.
Be wearing the shirt I'm going to have the shirt on and everything.
Tom Malinowski called me honorable, and all I got was the stupid T-shirt.
That's right. That's pretty much it.
Yep, exactly.
The story of my life and this podcast.
Speaking of which, you know who robbed the Louvre?
I know they caught somebody, but I don't know who it was.
I don't know if they caught someone, but they suspect somebody whose last name is Malinowski.
No.
Okay.
Like my evil alter ego.
So I just want our audience to be clear.
And I didn't get anything out of it. That was my point.
You have been in the United States over the course of the last several weeks, right?
I swear.
Okay.
I think so. I don't remember. I don't know. Look, no, these jewels, I borrowed them from my aunt.
To be continued. Yeah.
Well, I think Tom Kane Jr. was actually the perpetrator of that crime.
I heard he was in Paris.
Not smart enough.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
All right. Until Tom again. Tom, until we do it again. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you. This has been great. We really appreciate it, Tom.
All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.